As a teen girl, I often found myself wanting to be sad, which honestly did not do wonders for my mental well-being. I wanted to be tragically beautiful, like Alaska Young in Looking for Alaska, a misunderstood like Effie Stoneham from Skins UK. There were so many characters that I felt so connected to, but couldn't be more different than.
The revival of media like Tumblr, films centered around mental health problems, and novels has started a new online trend called the sad girl trope, which has created a renaissance of melancholy in all media. I remember the trend of mental health in 2020. It was the start of the rise of TikTok, as well as the start of COVID, and all throughout my timeline were teens who claimed to be depressed or anxious. There were also talks of other mental disorders like BPD, bipolar disorder, and eating disorders, which all contributed to the strange desire of wanting to achieve a low mental state. We have taken the idea of underlying mental illnesses and used them as something that is deemed to be cool because of the way media reflects these things. The reflection of this is not simply relatability, it is the romanticization. There is an average number of hours a day that US teens spend using social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. These apps take 87% of their time while on social media. 37% of teens say they spent more than 5 hours a day just scrolling throughout the day. Here is footage of me, at 17, who did the same thing, recording for a final project for my senior year of high school, and it's interesting to see this now, as I have passed the phase of being incredibly influenced by social media, but still, here is 17-year-old me pondering about growing up and worrying about what's to come. And still, I spent just as much time on social media as these teens. The percentages of different age groups and their correlation to each social media app are shown, TikTok being the most influential of the group. 61% of 13 to 14-year-olds are using TikTok, and 71% of 15 to 17-year-olds are using the app as well. All of these other platforms have such large percentages as well, but we've known for a while now that TikTok holds a mass amount of impact. We saw these numbers back in 2013 when Tumblr was on the rise, which is where this media trend really began. Audrey Woolen, creator of the sad girl theory, had no intention of bringing it to this extent. There's a long history of girls who have used their own anguish, their own suffering as tools for resistance and political agency. Girl sadness isn't quiet, weak, shameful, or dumb. It is active, autonomous, and articulate. It's a way of fighting back. Finding inspiration in the beauty of art, such as films, novels, and social media, is not relatively awful, but it's the concept of taking dark and grim stories and finding yourself in similar situations. And it's important to bring this movement back to its roots because it was once a form of expression and rebellion against the patriarchy. It has now turned into a battle of who can be the saddest. Adding on to the idea, it has also become a reflection of the archetypes of women before us, named by men, the Victorian madwoman and the French hysteric, which is rooted in misogyny and anti-feminist ideologies. The sad girl has turned into a movement that makes women feel weak and defeated, the opposite of what Woolen intended. Instead, there is an influx of girls using social media platforms as a source to spread negativity and misinformation on mental health. A statistic by the American Psychological Association says that the percentage of teens with the highest social media use who rate their overall mental health as poor or very poor, compared with 23% of those with the lowest use. For example, 10% of the highest used group expressed suicidal intent or self-harm in the past 12 months, compared with 5% of the lowest used group, and 17% of the highest users express poor body image, compared with 6% of the lowest users. A good percentage of teens are struggling with their mental health due to what they see and hear on social media. Online, this sad girl trope, or theory, as Woolen likes to call it, continues to present itself in today's society, giving us a way to cope with the issues that encompasses us. The general vision for this movement is a great use of feminism that, as it has advanced to an exclusive community, it has shown its true ideals and standards, which we see in the following images and images before. That it's strictly only really white women and just the beauty standard that we see on and on and on. The trope permeates through all media and yet does not represent all women. The concept has revealed its misogyny throughout years of young women, turning it into a new form of female hysteria. It is rooted to making women feel as though they need help What was meant to be an empowerment movement for women of all ethnicities to show inspiration has become a phenomenon with a following of young women and girls with whitewash images.